Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Authorities say a Lake Wenatchee man arrested after a heavily armed police response yesterday will not face felony charges. Whether it's beer, cider, or a mocktail that you prefer, sip on your drink of choice at Brews on the Bridge this Sunday in Chelan. One more day of unsettled weather tomorrow, and then things get nice heading into the upcoming weekend. Two people were hospitalized and two cars were totaled last night after a 5-car chain collision on Highway 28 in East Wenatchee. According to the Washington State Patrol, just before 10 p.m., 4 eastbound cars were stopped at a construction zone near milepost 2 when the rear car was struck by a 2000 Chevrolet Silverado pickup being driven by 42-year-old William J. Fries of Natchez. The rear car then struck the car in front of it until all 4 stopped autos were struck. Fries and the driver of the second car, 46-year-old Miguel A. Valdivinas of Wenatchee, were transported to Confluence Health with undisclosed injuries. The cause of the accident is under investigation, but authorities say drugs or alcohol were a factor. A similar accident occurred near the same construction zone on Sunday night. Authorities say a Lake Wenatchee man arrested after a heavily armed police response yesterday will not face felony charges. Instead, 33-year-old Kyle Stovner was cited for misdemeanor harassment for allegedly threatening his partner's dog. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say they were called to Stovner's home on Brayburn Road and told he had fired gunshots at the dog and held a rifle to his partner's neck. A SWAT team took Stovner into custody early Tuesday. While he allegedly admitted to threatening to shoot the dog and firing shots from a handgun during an argument, deputies say images from a trail camera did not support the rest of the alleged victim's story. Stovner was cited and released from jail. He must appear in district court on October 10th. A former East Wenatchee pharmacist will undergo a federal diversion program rather than face trial in U.S. District Court for falsifying COVID-19 vaccination records. Jeffrey Wayne Reynolds admitted to falsely signing vaccination cards for 2 Douglas County firefighters, allowing them to claim they'd received their mandatory COVID shots. Both men later resigned when the deception was uncovered and Reynolds was fired. A federal judge today entered a guilty plea on Reynolds' behalf to a charge of making false statements. That allows Reynolds to undergo a court-ordered disciplinary program while avoiding a trial that could have led to a prison sentence of up to 5 years. The Wenatchee area unemployment rate was up 1% in August compared to July, but down over 1% compared to August of last year. The State Employment Security Department reports the Wenatchee Metro Statistical Area had an unemployment rate of 3.9% last month. That compares to 2.9% in July and 5% in August of 2022. That's the lowest August unemployment rate since 1990. This August, total non-farm employment provided 49,100 jobs. That's down 200 jobs and a 0.4% below the 49,300 jobs tallied in August of 2022. Although this 0.4% year-over-year loss rate in August of 2023 is relatively small, Security Department analysts say it's a step in the wrong direction for the Wenatchee MSA's labor market. When we come back, a testy Wenatchee School Board meeting last night centered around the discussion of member Katherine Thomas's residency. Work will begin October 2nd to restore the riverbanks of both Confluence State Park and Eniat Park. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa's trade-in program. You can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa today.
A testy Wenatchee School Board meeting last night centered around the discussion of member Katherine Thomas's residency. The 100-minute meeting, with Thomas zooming in from the home she and her husband bought 6 months ago in El Paso, Texas, was roiled by calls for due process and several moments of he said, she said between the board members. The drama of the night was due to a resolution sent to the board ahead of the meeting yesterday, which Thomas claimed was not discussed with her.
Prior to this resolution being added into the email that was sent to us mere hours before the school board meeting, none of this has been discussed with me by the board president, the board vice president, or any member of the board, to the point that no one has even asked if these email allegations are the truth. I am stunned, surprised by the actions of Ms. Iniguez, Mr. Barron, Ms. Jakes, but I suppose I shouldn't be.
Board President Maria Iniguez detailed her concerns and the concerns of community members who were contacting the district.
My concern with, I agree with Laura. We received many emails with documentation in regards to, what the residency, whether Katherine was still residing in the district that she serves, and in also evidence that the voter registration was inactive. My concern actually dates back for several months. I have, with Katherine's remote attendance, I have on multiple occasions had requested the communication, as stated in the board policy, that she notified the superintendent, the administrative assistant, as well as the board chair. I was not informed that she would be attending remotely. And so that prompted several pieces of communication with Katherine, with the superintendent as well. And so, to be serving on a board and how all these concerns being brought up by the public, seeing the inactive status, when Katherine has been attending meetings in person, only 22% of those in the last 3 meetings that we've met is concerning enough for me.
Ultimately, the board tabled the resolution and Thomas remains a Wenatchee School District board member. Work will begin October 2nd to restore the riverbanks of both Confluence State Park and Eniat Park. The flowing and changing of water levels has caused erosion that damages native habitat, as seen here in these before and after photos of Confluence State Park. Chelan PUD's plan is to restore roughly 1,100 feet of riverbank at Confluence State Park and about 120 feet at Eniat Park. The project should be finished by November, and paved trails will be detoured along the grass until work is complete. However, other park amenities such as camping and boat launches will remain open. Whether it's beer, cider, or a mocktail that you prefer, sip on your drink of choice at Brews on the Bridge this Sunday. The event will feature local beverages, food, and live music. Tickets and proper identification will be required upon entry. Tickets are $32 each and include a commemorative glass, a sponsored gift, and 6 drink tickets. Proceeds from the event will go towards Chelan Valley Hope, and attendees are encouraged to park their vehicles in Chelan High School parking lot. The event will be from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the historic Old Bridge. Coming up next, students in a new program at Wenatchee High School have earned the attention of 2 national media outlets. We'll bring you part 2 of Podcast Class in tonight's feature story. Unseasonably cool and mainly dry the next couple of days, and then beautiful weather is expected this weekend. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. That and much more still to come tonight. Please stay with us.
Hi, everybody. Dan Coos alongside Jesse Coble. from Alpine Air. My heat pump there's like steam coming out of it. It's making weird noises. Is this something I need to be concerned about?
No, Dan, that's normal operation. Refrigeration technology steals heat from the outside, transfers it to the inside, and it creates frost on your heat pump. The defrost cycle melts that off, which creates steam and a little bit of noise.
That makes sense. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
We're turning up the heat with the hottest deals of the year. Right now, during the hot summer clearance sale, only at Click It RV. #1 in sales and service. The best RV brands. Over 1,000 to choose from. And the best deals of the year on remaining 2023 model year-end clearance with incredible 30% off. Brand new RVs discounted up to 30%. Save thousands. Plus, no payments until 2024. During the hot summer clearance sale, now only at Click It RV. 5 Superstore locations. Hurry in today.
Yesterday, we introduced you to Wenatchee High School students Cade Devereaux and Sophie Macon, who received honorable mentions in national competitions for their final projects created in a new podcast class. Introduction to Podcast and Audio Storytelling, which piloted last year, is taught by social studies teacher Brandon Harley, who wears many hats around campus, including as advisor to the yearbook and senior class. Harley sat down for an interview with NCWLIFE News and spoke about how the class came to be.
It was an interesting conversation with our career and technical education director, Mr. Jake Buholtz. I came to him with a couple ideas about how to do projects for social studies courses. And one of the ideas was, being able to share a story with sound. And he said, let me get back to you. I had a couple ideas. And it is a field that is burgeoning. And obviously, I think a lot of people started to first listen to podcasts during COVID. We had a lot more downtime and a lot of time to listen to more things. And since that time, the market has really multiplied. And with that, there's been a lot of kids who have been interested in telling stories through sound. So I think that the biggest reason why we chose to do it is because it's relevant now. It's something that kids find interest in, and we can focus on their stories and their voice. I have no professional background experience in podcasting, which was difficult. I enrolled in the Berkeley School of Advanced Media Institute to take a few classes. They helped coach me up. We were lucky enough to meet with them a couple times to talk to them about what we were going to do. I've had a chance to talk to other people around the state that have had some experience doing this. We've talked to people locally that have run some podcasts. So I've tried to pass on what I know to them, which is very little at this point, but I continue to build. This year, we're trying to build outward with that and have more podcasts produced in our class, not just stories, but ones that we can share later on. So I think when kids come to class, the first thing they think of is a podcast is just two people sitting down interviewing each other and being entertained. And that takes a skill as well. So that is not what we were doing. We wanted to try to show them the skills of telling a story. So the class itself is not just podcasting 101, it's intro to podcast production and audio storytelling. And that's intentional. We wanted kids to come in and be able to build a story that they can tell about themselves, their interests, their lives, the things that have happened to them. And then also include, some interview techniques. It is very much a journalistic kind of approach. I had knew about the New York Times student podcasts and NPR student podcasts. So I thought that's a great way to start. We can use that as a way to try to build towards completing a project. And those have different due dates. Our student organization, the TSA, has one as well. So we use those to kind of build our skills. And the success that not only did Cade and Sophie have, but other students with building that kind of sound. And just because they didn't get picked by those didn't mean there was some other ones that were fantastic. I'm just really happy that they had the ability to kind of shine a light on what they did. And that in turn obviously brings interest to Wenatchee High School. So the hope is that we build more student interest so we can have multiple sections of it in the future.
Let's take a check now of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Boy, it was a wet Wednesday as advertised. Rain showers began about 3:30 a.m. Then we had those scattered showers into our early afternoon, but look at almost mid-afternoon today. This is the Wenatchee Valley. It cleared up nicely this afternoon, and we did see a few more clouds, and still not ruling out a few stray scattered showers out there. But boy, sure nice to see that blue sky today. And I'll tell you what, as we get into later in the day, and we have seen this already today, breezy conditions around much of eastern Washington. We're talking mainly in the Columbia Basin and east, where we could see gusts between 20 and 30 miles an hour. Probably about a 10-mile an hour wind for most of us in the NCWLIFE channel viewing area. So not bad for us, but boy, as you head east, you're going to run into that. Today's high temperature, 58 degrees, and as you can imagine, well below where we should be for this time of year at 72. Our record 88 degrees, and that was set in 1963. 48 this morning, right in line with where we should be for normals this time of year at 49. And our first freezing mark, low temperature of the year, at least of this season, 32 degrees, and that was set in 1972. Picked up another 6/100ths of an inch of precip, and that now gets us to 3.76 inches for the year, about an inch and a quarter below where we should be for this time of year. Sun came up at 6:54 this morning and will set for us tonight at 6:48. All right, let's get you into those Thursday temperatures. Things will get better. 64 degrees for Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy, 62 in Wenatchee, 61 in Entiat, 62 in Chelan, and around 60 for the high temperature in Leavenworth. Keep in mind, we're still under the influence of a trough of low pressure, so a warm-up is going to take a couple of days to happen. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. You can see an area of low pressure right here off the coast. That's providing that strong westerly flow, so still a few clouds tonight. Going to get chilly with those clearing skies with temperatures in the mid-40s, so some of the coolest temperatures we've seen this year. For Thursday, mostly cloudy skies, mainly because of that area of low pressure. Still about a 30% chance of rain showers for our Thursday. As we talked about, high temperatures tomorrow, generally in the low to mid 60s. And then for football Friday, we will be there. Moses Lake and Wenatchee at the Apple Bowl Friday night, partly cloudy, and bundle up. We're going to see temperatures barely making 60 for highs, so you know by 7 o'clock, we're going to be down in probably the mid-50s, so bundle up Friday night. Saturday, mostly sunny. Great kickoff to our weekend. Warmer temperatures. We'll see highs in the mid-60s as high pressure begins to move into the Pacific, and that will really make for some nice weather, especially into the end of the weekend. How about that? Sunny skies all around in Washington for Sunday and warmer. We're going to see high temperatures near 70. Boy, it is going to be a beautiful end to our weekend. And then kicking off our next work week, not too bad either. Mostly cloudy on Monday, but still not bad temperature-wise. We will see some clouds riding down the backside of this ridge into Washington, but as I mentioned, still not bad. High temperatures on Monday around 70 degrees, and then for Tuesday, mostly sunny skies, but notice our high pressure is sliding to the south, and there is a large area of low pressure in the Gulf of Alaska. It won't affect our weather on Tuesday, though, with temperatures in the upper 60s, but we'll keep an eye on that low getting into the middle part of next week. Tonight's overnight low, 45 degrees, 30% chance of rain tomorrow, and 62. Look at that, 43 our overnight low Thursday night into Friday. Partly cloudy and cool for Friday, and 60. And then a beautiful weekend ahead. Mostly sunny to sunny skies, 66 Saturday and 70 on Sunday. And by the time we get into next week, a few clouds on Monday and 71, with mostly sunny conditions on Tuesday. High temperatures then 69 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Hi, this is Eric Granstrom, the NCWLIFE Channel Sports Director. While the teams are working hard, we're working hard to bring you 20 broadcasts this fall.
Over the middle, the ball is caught, and just like that, gets through everybody.
It's Eastmont.
To the end zone. Touchdown, Eastmont.
It's Wenatchee.
Touchdown.
Even Cashmere.
Killed by Nell. It's in. Good maneuver. Red footer. Go, 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 go.
Right here on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE Channel. The Mariners snapped a 4-game skid with a 6-2 win over Houston last night at T-Mobile Park. George Kirby threw 6 innings of shutout ball while Seattle's offense took advantage of several Houston miscues defensively to get out to a lead it would never surrender.
Another 3-2. Club to right field. It sends Tucker back on the wall. And he leaps and he makes the catch. The Gold Glover reels it in. Ford hustles into third. It's over Bregman and it's into the crowd. The Mariners get a run. Late night Little League at T-Mobile Park and the Mariners are in front. It's 1-0. Julio behind. Javier's 0-2. A mile high. Alvarez. There's one out. France tags. He's on his way home. Crawford tiptoes into second base. A sky-scraping sac fly off the bat of Julio. And the Mariners now lead it 2-0. Pena takes off, swing and a miss. Count throw on target on time. And he got another one. Broken back down the right field line. Dropping. Fair base hit. Rojas pedals home. Throw to third. Julio is safe. Ball gets away. And that moves Cal into second. And Julio will score. Another ball disappears. A gift-wrap run for the second time by the Astros. And the Mariners do open it up. It's 4-0 in the 5th inning. 1-1. Hard hit ground ball past Bregman. Cal Raleigh scores. Teoscar Hernandez keeps the line moving. And he drives in the Mariners' 5th run tonight. Bregman in the air. Out to right. Teoscar Hernandez on the track at the wall. And he makes the catch. Crash test dummy Teoscar Hernandez. Julio loves it.
Hits the ball into right field. Should be deep enough to score the run. Teoscar will make the catch. Yiner tags and goes home. They'll make it a 5-1 game. Singleton picks up a sac fly as a pinch hitter.
France the batter. France plugs this out to left center. Rising back. Gone! Ty France! A lightning bolt to make it 6-1. Welcome back, Ty France.
Punched into right field. That's going to be down for a hit. Astros get a run here. It's 6-2. Altuve with his 3rd hit of the night. And the Astros get one on Andres Munoz. And Alex grounds one towards third. Suarez will run to the bag, step on the bag and throw in time to get Bregman to end this game. The Mariners for now win this game 6-2. See if the Astros challenge.
This play ending the game, they're going to review it. Crew Chief Larry Vanover was on the call.
Yeah, foot's down.
Yep.
The 1-1. Into center. Julio ranging back. Puts the squeeze on.
Manager Scott Service breathed a sigh of relief afterwards, saying this was a must-win game for the Mariners.
Really gut check win tonight for our ball club, and really happy for our guys. Obviously, we've been scuffling here the last 4 days, and you know, you start to wonder, you know, can we get it going again? When are we going to get it going again? And you know, heck of a job by George tonight, getting through that first inning. You know, making really good pitches to kind of work his way through it. Obviously, they got a couple soft hits there, but he got through it, and getting a 0 up there on the first tonight with where we were, I thought was huge. And then, you know, guys battle some at bats, got some guys on. You know, speedy Mike Ford forced an error. You made them make plays, and we took advantage of it. But again, pitching tonight, George was outstanding. Obviously, what a season Matt Brash has had, and where would we be without him? I don't want to think about it. Thank God we got him. And you know, since mid-season, he has just turned it on. His strike throwing has gotten better. Obviously, the wipeout slider has always been his pitch, but he's added something to get a little bit more movement on his fastball, and it is paying off. He got in on some righties tonight against some really good hitters and really saved us, picking us up, giving us 2 innings. So, you know, offensively, a lot of good things tonight. I thought we did a much better job of grinding through at bats and taking a few walks, getting the pitch count up on Javier. And then, you know, we needed a few big hits, and we got them. So we needed to have the game tonight. It really makes it interesting tomorrow night. and that's the way it's going to be.
Cal Raleigh collected a couple hits and an RBI while Ty France went deep for Seattle. Two teams play the rubber match of the three-game set tonight at 6:40. It's on Root Sports Northwest. Well, Seattle got a favor from the Angels last night as Los Angeles beat up Texas 9-2. That shaved the Rangers' lead in the AL West to 2.5 games over Houston, 3 games in front of the Mariners. The Yankees also beat Toronto 2-0 to help in the wild card chase. The Blue Jays' lead over Houston is down to 1.5 games, and if Seattle can knock off Houston today, they'd take over the third and final wild card playoff spot. Well, a busy prep volleyball night included a game broadcast live right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Eastmont picked up its first win of the season by sweeping aside Sunnyside 25-19, 19, and 16. I was lucky enough to be courtside with a call here from Eastmont High School.
As Santana has the serve. Could be the point for the match, and it is. Unforced service error, and it goes to Eastmont, 25-19. Set point. Service, Briones, across. Eastmont just flicks it right back, and a point. It works out nicely for DeJurgis, and the Wildcats win the second set here, 25-19. Morris with the right hand for the right side. Cross court she'll go. Back line for Eastmont there was Howell. And now the kill. Strong attempt at the line. Sunnyside though with a counter. Back line it goes. There's Staines again. Now the kill. Swipe. Good. Point. DeJurgis. 6-foot sophomore learning as she goes with every ball and every service. Shouldering the pressure is Morse, the freshman, but this time it goes into the net, and that'll be the point and the match. And Eastmont will win its first contest of the season, 25-16.
Talk about what you had to say to the girls after this match.
Way to finally get it done. And that I was proud of them because they worked on, each one of them had a set of 5 goals for themselves, and I could see each one of them working on those things, and that was just huge, and that was the difference. So I picked Mickey because she is one of my senior captains, and day in and day out, she just takes charge and cleans up that back row, so she deserves the recognition. Win or lose, this is the girl for sure.
Okay, Mickey, what do you have to say about hearing that from your coach?
It feels really good. I mean, it's nice getting recognition, especially from back row, because usually passers don't get as much recognition as like the hitters, so it feels nice.
Also in Big 9 play last night, Davis took care of Moses Lake 3-1. Ephrata swept East Valley. Cashmere down Cascade 3-0. Manson took down Okanagan in 3 sets. Tonasket topped Oroville 3-0. Liberty Bell brought down Bridgeport 3-0. Lake Roosevelt edged Brewster 3-2. Waterville Mansfield traveled to Moses Lake Christian and came away with a 3-set victory. On the Les Schwab girls prep soccer scoreboard from last night, Eastmont blasted Sunnyside 11-1. Quincy quieted Chelan 1-0. Cashmere got by Cascade 2-1. Tonasket dropped Liberty Bell 8-0. Manson shut out Lake Roosevelt 2-0. Bridgeport beat Oroville 5-2, and Brewster bettered Pateras by a final of 6-1. Hey, a reminder that we have Big 9 football coming up Friday here on the NCWLIFE channel from Lee Bofto Field to the Apple Bowl. That's where the Wenatchee Panthers will host the Moses Lake Mavericks. Wenatchee 2-2 on the campaign, coming off a big 51-6 win over Eisenhower last week. The Mavericks, meanwhile, 4-0 after a 48-28 win at Central Valley. They're ranked 5th in the WIAA RPI poll. Grant Olson and Brandon Harley will have the call with a pregame beginning 6:30 right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Let's look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a happy Wednesday.
On the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we want you to circle the date of October 10th. That's a Tuesday at the Wenatchee High School Auditorium. Lane and Kelly are putting together a program about child sex trafficking. You can't keep your head buried in the sand anymore, folks. It's out there. It's a problem. It's a worldwide problem. Lane and Kelly will tell you about what they have planned for you to become a better person. because they're good people on the next edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley.
And that will do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us, and have a great night.